I could hear her twirling her hair in this fucking phone call, okay? Just from her response, I could hear her going, like playing with her hair. A female cop gets caught seducing inmates.
This is Charlene O'Banion, a prison officer being accused of sleeping with an inmate.
You felt me, I was like soaking through my clothes.
After hearing rumors from other officers that had seen her and Jason Parker together, an investigation was opened up. Charlene thinks she flew under the radar and got away, but what she doesn't know is that the detectives have all the evidence they need, and they're about to expose and embarrass her in the most brutal way possible.
You got a lot of that head game.
All right, let's go.
Right from the start, Charlene plays innocent and pretends she doesn't know anything about the allegations.
We're notified of a possible improper relationship between you and Jacob Parker. So we're here for that. I just kind of want to talk to you about it and get your side of that story.
I don't know anything about it.
Okay. Have you talked to him on any jail phone calls or anything like that?
No.
Not at all?
Charlene is sure that this will work, but the detectives have much more evidence than they're letting on.
And where would you think that this allegation would come from if there's nothing to it?
Well, I had a feeling this was coming. So there was an inmate named Coker, Justin Coker.
Okay.
He got out of here for, I don't know what period of time. And he tried to contact me on Facebook. He sent me a message and I blocked him on Facebook. And I guess one time Parker was going back to Bequat to use the bathroom and he was talking like at the window with me. And I guess Coker like didn't like that, which I had no contact with him or anything. And Parker had told me that he had gone up to him and was like, don't talk to her or something crazy like that.
So I'm just not trying to be rude here. I'm just, Why would you expect this conversation to come up from that? Like now, if that happened a few months ago.
Charlene claims that the only time she's had contact with Jason was a single time outside the jail bathroom, and it was a jealous inmate that started the rumor. But the detective is about to share some evidence that instantly proves that Charlene is hiding something.
I don't know exactly how it started, like who it started from, but I was told that it was brought to somebody's attention, and then we looked at jail calls, and there's jail calls between you and Parker. And all that stuff's recorded. So I don't think you're being completely truthful. Well, I kind of know that you're not. And I'm not trying to be rude when I say that.
Yeah, no.
I'm just kind of trying to lay it out on the table for you. So can you kind of tell me what's going on?
I guess a few years ago, we talked, and then I ended up here, and then he ended up here. I didn't know he was here. It wasn't anything like that.
Apparently, Charlene and Jason knew each other before prison and messed around before they both ended up here. This led to them joking around with each other here, but nothing else. Or at least, that's what she claims. In reality, the cops have recorded phone calls from inside the prison that tell a completely different story.
So what about some of these phone conversations?
No, not here or the phone.
I just mean conversations y'all are having on the phone.
No.
Since he's been in here.
Like sexual?
Well, I'm not saying having phone sex, talking about sexual acts. From what I'm listening to on the calls, I take it as that you've given him oral sex at some point, is what I gather from these calls.
No, that was like in the world, but we never dated. We just.
Okay. What kind of conversations have you had with him since?
A female cop gets caught seducing inmates is the name of this video from the channel Dr. Insanity.
You started working here.
By the way, this happens way more frequently than you would think, for the record.
He's been in the jail.
I don't know, just talking about what happened after he got out.
And then the jail call recordings, have you been talking to him like while you're at home? Like he calls you from the jail while you're at home, or? Okay.
Just 15 minutes into this interrogation, Charlene's original story is seeming less and less like the truth. She's been caught in multiple lies, admitted to having sexual relations with Jason in the past, and calling him regularly from her own home. This is highly irregular behavior for a prison officer, and it doesn't take a genius to realize something deeper may be going on. But the detective has some more questions pertaining to some more physical evidence.
I haven't listened to this, but apparently there may be some talk in the calls about like photographs. Have you given him any photographs?
Mm-mm. I gave him a photograph of his mom, which he had asked for, and of his dog, Jax.
The interesting dynamic in this situation, of course, is that the cop is in a position of power. So, you know, normally most people don't consider a woman and a man having sex where the woman is the responsible party and is like at fault. It just, and it does happen for the record, but due to misogyny, due to patriarchy or patriarchal attitudes, people are not conditioned into believing that it is sexual assault in that situation. The major reason as to why cops do this, the major reason as to why cops investigate this kind of thing is because oftentimes you can never sexually assault a man. I hope you're being sarcastic, right? In most circumstances, this kind of misconduct leads to like the CO like trafficking drugs or other shit for the prisoner, and even in certain instances like people have escaped due to it. That's why they care about it that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you given him any photographs of you?
Mm-mm. No, because...
So one of the things we're going to be doing is like looking at cameras and stuff too. Has there been any times where y'all were alone?
Mm-mm.
Or you go out of camera view or anything like that? Anything that's going to look suspicious that way?
I don't think so.
It's important to remember that Charlene has worked at this prison for a while now, and as such will know all the ins and outs of everything such as security camera blind spots and patrol officer schedules. You'd think that with all this knowledge, it'd be easy to hide a relationship with an inmate. But it seems that she forgot about a few vital pieces of information. Not least the facts
Maybe she got too horny and like forgot, you know what I mean? That at the top of the hour there's a 3-minute ad break, and sometimes you get so horny that you forget.
that all phone calls placed from the prison are recorded. But thanks to the detectives, she's about to be reminded of this fact in a devastating way.
Hey, baby.
Got that.
Baby, guess what?
What, babe?
I just won the blackjack game.
Yay.
I just won $30.
I could hear her twirling her hair in this fucking phone call, okay? Just from her response, I could hear her going, like playing with her hair.
I got a lot of stuff to clean and get rid of before you come home. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking you. I was trying to make you think I have all these secret things.
Yeah, I bet you do.
What?
What?
What? What do you mean?
I don't know. You probably got this weird sex swing hanging from the ceiling. Kenneth probably thinks it's a swing set.
Oh, if I had that sex swing, you better believe I'd leave that sucker up for you.
Would you really?
Hell yeah.
You'd let me put you in it?
Yeah.
With a gag bar and everything?
Yeah, babe.
Listening to your own voice can be bad enough for some people, but listening to your own sexual phone calls in silence with two detectives in the room as you realize you've just been caught red-handed has got to be worse than any prison sentence there is. However, with the language they've used so far, there's no evidence that the pair have actually engaged in any sexual acts. But that changes quickly as Jason begins to directly incriminate Charlene on the call.
I just want you to look at me sometimes and be like, damn, my woman's fine.
Fine as wine.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a live ass fucking head game. Oh my god.
It wasn't my best moments. I was just trying to get it done.
Meh, meh. Are you in bed?
Don't even get me thinking about that because it makes me so horny. Like just going back and thinking about that.
I'm not gonna lie, it's like a weird situation because on its face, this dynamic is like immediately inherently unjustifiable due to the fact that this person is in custody, right? This person does not have the capacity to consent. Having said that, it does feel like there is a natural relationship here. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't give a shit about either of these people. Like, I have no dog in this fight. But beyond the like obvious power imbalance that is legally not permissible, it's just like it does feel like she should be thrown in prison, horny prison. You know what I mean? Like, they're vibing. There's chemistry.
Get you horny?
Oh, yeah. You felt me. I was like soaking through my clothes. Get very horny very easy. I always want to have sex.
Good.
Like, that's not even...
Not good.
I mean, I feel like I just like look at someone, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so fucking horny. No, like, of course, like, I only get horny for you.
You kind of see how that sounds from like my point of view.
He ain't hers anymore. He belongs to the state. True. The main question we need to ask is the female Hagalina is a Nancy Reagan fan. I mean, I don't know.
Like a more recent thing than 3 years ago. No?
The audacity she has to say no after hearing that phone call is truly remarkable. But to her credit, she's not going down easily. The detectives try asking her if she thinks Jason would cover for her, and she still doesn't break, sticking to her story that everything that happened outside of prison. Technically, this story could still be true with this phone call, but it definitely is odd for the couple to be recounting events from over 3 years ago in such detail, especially when earlier she struggled to remember any details about their relationship.
You talk about how profound this was, like just giving him this blowjob was, but you like don't remember anything about it. It's like telling me something, but you're having trouble coming up with details about it. You know what I mean? Like if it's that profound.
I mean, I gave him a blowjob. How do you describe the blowjob? I mean, is that
Well,
what
I'm
you
not
want
want
me
to
to
know
do?
like about the blowjob. I'm just
Yeah.
so if this is a
He just said
factual thing that happened 3 years ago, I feel like you would kind of remember some stuff about it. Like I
Yeah,
feel
I
like,
mean, like we said in the car, you know.
like when I asked you who was there, him of course, like when y'all met or whatever, and then when I asked like who else, you said it was like a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
But like you can remember one
I mean, I
chick's
was with
name
my
after
friend
you
Chris.
think about it for 30 seconds. So
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I
not
was-
making sense to me.
You seem to have blanks in your memory when we get to certain details, but you remember being groped in the blowjob from 3 years ago. I find that hard to believe. Okay? This is your one chance to be honest with us.
Yeah.
Once we get up and walk out and we're done, we're done. Have y'all had any inappropriate contact, whether it's groping, blowjobs, vaginal, anal sex, anything, hand jobs? Yes, I am being vulgar to get a point across.
Yeah, no, it's not. None of that.
Just as the detectives say, things really aren't adding up. Yet she's still sticking to her story. Or at least she was, before a switch flipped and she said this.
I mean, what is it?
I might have given him a blowjob in the back part of
Oh! Got him. Arrest him. I didn't realize, officers, I didn't realize sucking dick was a crime. Okay? What is this? The fucking 19th century? I did not realize if sucking cock is a crime, then slap those handcuffs on my wrist, officer. I thought this was America. God damn it. If it's wrong, I don't want to be right.
In the back part of decoy? Okay. How long ago was that?
I don't know, a few months ago.
The secret's out, and Charlene has confessed. But this matter is more
It's crazy. Stop queerbaiting. Man, shut the fuck up. Okay. Shut the fuck up before I fucking blow your dad's back out. Okay? Queerbaiting. Nah, I'm queerbaiting. I'll fuck your dad in the ass. Do you understand me? I completely fucking forgot. God damn it. I had a take here. Oh, I was going to say it's kind of wild, but I guess expected that like the only time officers get severe repercussions is when they're like doing something that is like definitely punishable, but they do punishable shit all the time and never see any kind of legal repercussions for it. But this is the one instance where like it does seem like the other dude is not like being coerced into this circumstance. You know what I mean?
complex than it may seem. In cases of officer-inmate relations, the main question that arises is the issue of consent.
Yeah.
Given that Jason and Charlene knew each other prior to being in prison, it's not wrong to assume that consent went both ways in this interaction. However,
it's also a unique case because, like, they literally dated beforehand, right? Like, it's wild. I've never actually experienced a scenario like this. Usually you just have a corrections officer who, like, meets the person in prison. It is quite literally like a situation where, like, this is an edge case. The fact that they dated before does make it different. Well, it doesn't make it different because she's still having sex with this person, had sex with this person consensually, and is still having sex with this person in a non-consensual setting because she holds his freedom in her hands. Like, prisoners can fuck one another, but a prisoner can't fuck a CO. You know what I mean? What? No, 100%. What are you talking about? When you are apprehended by the state and detained, okay, for no matter how long a period of time, you like, and the person who controls your freedom cannot fuck you. Like, you literally cannot legally give consent. It's like being shit-faced drunk. Like, it's like being blackout drunk. You just can't give actual consent, which, by the way, has only been made illegal in states like New York, even, where it was not considered sexual assault when a cop fucked an inmate or someone that they had detained.
in these cases, that's actually completely irrelevant.
Because, yeah, it could be argued that the inmate believed the sexual favors would result in their freedom. Yeah. It may add a bit more trust between the two, but it's still inherently unconsensual because consent can't be withdrawn. Wait, what? Oh, you mean, okay, yeah, you're right. Exactly. Because consent can be withdrawn, but not if you're a fucking prisoner. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, that chatter is correct. I misunderstood what they were saying at first as well. The situation, like I said, it's a very weird situation where, like it's obvious. If you look at the conversation that you're watching, if you look at the background, it's obvious that these people are consensually having sex with one another. But technically, in the legal sense, it cannot be consensual because, one, consent can be revoked unless you are a fucking prisoner in a prison and you're fucking a corrections officer. It is approximately 30 states where it is legal to do this, so it's technically consensual in the vast majority of states.
According to a 2005 report, federal law criminalizes all sexual relations and contact between prison staff and inmates, and that all sexual relations between staff and inmates are considered abuse.
This is the major reason why they've made this a law, by the way, not because they give a fuck about, like, prisoners being sexually assaulted by corrections officers, but because that sexual relationship or the nature of that relationship, fraternizing with prisoners in that regard, oftentimes leads to major security risks for the prison, for the people that are, in public, victims of crimes, yada, yada.
Abuse, even if the act would have been considered consensual if it occurred outside of a prison. This is because of the huge amount of inmate abuse that was observed in prisons. In 1996, it was estimated that between 12 and 14% of all prison inmates had been sexually assaulted, and the officers were rarely punished. So to prevent this, a zero-tolerance policy was introduced to try and prevent abuse towards inmates. A policy, it seems, that Charlene completely ignored.
I'm going to ask, but I feel like I know the answer. I'm losing my job.
So that's not really up to me. Internal Affairs is aware. Investigation is separate from ours because it's two totally different things. So
yeah, what kind of charges? Like,
so it's illegal to have sexual contact with an inmate as an employee. So I said the ball kind of be in their court, but I'll let you know as soon as I hear something.
I mean, should I go to jail?
That's up to the DA's office.
As it turns out, Charlene would lose her job, and the only time she'd ever be allowed back in jail would be for the 100 days that she'd be made to serve after being found guilty of sexual activity with a person in custody.
They didn't seem to actually have a relationship prior to his custody in prison. That was her trying to cover for what she said. No. Kind of ironic that she was put into a jail over this, considering what she did. Yeah. Well, now she can have sex with him without any problems. Well, no, because it's not a co-ed prison, dude.